All right, everybody, welcome to episode 19 of The Chop. We got a little different structure here. Usually, it's me and him live, and wanted to try out this new Zoom thing. Seen a lot of people doing it, and honestly, it's a good...
Yeah, COVID, and we know we're far from a lot of people we know too, so it's a good resource to have.
100%. Yeah. And I think it allows us to just outreach more people, even to have them on, even if someone lived out of state or something. But do a little introduction.
Yeah, so we have somebody on today that just recently wrote and published her first book, and I met this young individual actually through personal development, and now she wrote a personal development book, and so I got to see who she was, who she explained she was in the book, and now I get to see who she is now. And I'm just really excited to share that with everybody. So without further ado, welcome Katy Marr.
Yay!
Katy, how are you?
I am well. I'm very excited about this. I'm excited to be here. This is so awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of a long time in the making. I don't know. We've been kind of like pushing a little bit, and I pre-ordered the book, so I knew it's been a while.
Yes.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on and excited too.
Definitely.
Thank you. And I just love what you guys stand for and just helping people into their purpose, no matter what it is, and just encouraging people to grind it out. It's so awesome.
Thanks.
I just love your guys' purpose and your mission and your values.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And now we get to show off your grind.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just dive right into it. When I started reading the book, like I said, it was funny. When I'm reading through, the first, kind of explaining, I feel like who you were then, that's the Katy I got. That's the Katy I got to know, because you were still maybe in that spot a little bit. So I guess I just kind of want to ask, just to start off, what is the art of rising up? What is rising up to you?
Yes. So I think rising up can mean different things for everyone. It's just what it means to you to rise up. And for me, being someone who was a people pleaser or is a people pleaser naturally, and just someone who would play small and just doubt myself and just keep myself kind of hidden just to not bother anyone or step on toes. I just minimized myself a lot. And so really rising up for me just meant stepping out of those tendencies and stepping up and just being who I was called to be, and just not feeling like I need to water myself down or keep myself hidden, and just go through life confidently and just with a bold approach, and just rising above people pleasing and playing small and just all the things that have held me back in life. And I think for anyone, no matter what you struggle with, rising up really just means stepping up from the things that have held you back and kept you from fulfilling your purpose.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I just think it's awesome that it's like, rise, grind, repeat. So rise. We kind of just, I don't know, we kind of just tend to end up focusing a little more on the grinding and the repeating.
Right.
Just by nature.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. Now we have a whole book to read about the rise, just the rise.
Yeah.
and rising up. That's awesome.
I mean, I feel like it tied into what we talk about a little, is rising to the occasion is typically what we would say out of our, also people, I guess, get the rise of getting out of bed and getting up from our logo and from our name. So
I think it's funny. I think she actually said that in her book, the quote.
Yeah.
Quoted something. What did you just say? The rise to the occasion. I think you said that in your book. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no.
Everything's connected.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too, and just your guys' brand, the rise, grind, repeat. And I talk about this in my book a little bit. It's kind of how it's set up. It's that before you can grind, before you can work on what you're supposed to be working on, before you can reach your goals, the rise comes first. You have to be able to rise up and put yourself in a position to go and grind and work hard and fulfill your purpose. So the rise comes first, and that's definitely what I was thinking about, just thinking about your guys' brand and just the way my book is set up. Like rising up, it just comes first.
I love that so much.
Yeah, that's
so
spot
awesome.
on.
So I think, so first of all, let me back up for a second, because I said nothing about the name of the book is The Art of Rising Up. I'm not sorry, Katy, I'm not Tom Bilyeu. So
No.
so the book is called The Art of Rising Up. And I didn't say that at the beginning, but and it's really dialed into people pleasing, and that was a real problem. And I think that is so deep rooted, and I'm kind of getting into, I'm into that part of the book right now. And I think everybody has their own version, but if you would want to kind of explain, I read about how awful your teacher was when you went into the 4th grade and you went to a public school. So that was kind of where your people pleasing rooted from. Do you want to like share a little bit about how that was your root?
Yeah, definitely. I think just that's the first memory I have of someone like getting really irritated with me, and I just didn't like it at all. I didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like when adults weren't happy with me. And so for me, it just kind of developed into this mindset that said, I am just going to go into every situation and try my best to be everything that people want me to be, so that they don't get angry and they don't get upset. And that definitely, I think, rooted from my schooling experience. Just, I had been homeschooled the first 3 years of school. And so I just didn't have a whole lot of social interaction. And so going into public school, it was just so different, and I liked it a lot, but just the unfortunate part was just how like judgmental I felt people could be, and just, I wouldn't say I was like bullied, but just like picked on a little bit, I guess, and one of those people being my teacher. And so yeah, it really just kind of spiraled into people pleasing. And so I would just show up to every situation just trying to be as likable as I possibly could. And most of the time that looked like just not saying anything and just not getting involved and not putting myself out there. And so I definitely went through the rest of my life, pretty much all throughout middle school and high school, and then the first few years of my adulthood, just acting that way, I guess, just not putting myself out there and being watered down, and yeah, just holding myself back, playing small.
Yeah.
I think it's too, like, it's almost like when we're little and you feel bad about yourself or something, and then somebody says, something good about you, well, that makes you feel good. So then it just kind of even begins at that simple level of like,
right.
I don't feel good about myself, but Brevin said I'm this, so then just those attachment to like other people's words and validation starts at such a young age. And then having, I guess, not going from having, less social interaction to like 4th grade, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a weird grade to start public school, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a lot. And I think I have a quote here that you said you used others' validation as a filter through which I viewed my worth and my value. And that's so big. We all struggle with that. Like,
oh yeah,
it's almost, with the world we live in, it's just inevitable to have at least a thought. Not that you can't fight your thoughts or combat them with, whatever skills you've acquired, but it's just, it's always gonna, it's always gonna persist.
I mean, yeah, something I thought of. I mean, I just started seeing a therapist, and he was helping me kind of break down the validation part of, I feel like I have a lot of external validations. So like it kind of, I think, goes into the people pleasing, whether it's, I was always trying to please other people and make them like get my validation through them. I wanted their opinion and what they thought. And now I'm trying to switch that mindset of getting an internal validation and like that internal safety and security kind of as like my first, like part of my personal needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Just being someone who I felt like anytime I had an idea or I wanted to do something, my first reaction was to go and see what other people thought about it. And I
Yeah.
would use their response as kind of my answer. Or if I just did something without asking someone and then I was receiving the negative opinions and the negative feedback, then I would just spend all day like just overthinking about it and just feeling like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. Like they're going to be mad at me. So yeah, definitely just the outside validation. Like I think learning how to filter out opinions and just understanding like who matters, what opinions matter, what feedback matters, and just clinging to those instead of just being an open receiver to any and all criticism that anyone has to offer, because it's really not hard to have an opinion. People have opinions about everything, and they're not afraid to share their opinions or their thoughts on what you're doing. But the problem with that is not everyone needs to have a space in your life, opinion wise. And that's just not healthy. It's not productive. And so I think just narrowing down, like, okay, who are the people that have the most valuable insight over my life, and just clinging to that.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I think that's even something I've been practicing. I've been like starting to learn. I mean, I used to not share a lot of my emotions, and now I feel like I have been, and it's helped me realize like, all right, this person maybe I shouldn't share too much with. They don't bring too much value. And I've kind of started to weed those people out. I feel like it's been like super helpful.
So what do you think, I guess what tools did you use in your tool bag, or, to help you put those filters up of, not just being an open, what did you just say? That was really good. I like that.
An open receiver to.
Yeah. Like I guess what helped you, was it just, emotional agility? Was it your faith? You talked about your identity with God and Christ. Is it a little bit of that? Like what helped you put those filters up so that you weren't just an open receiver?
Right. Yeah. It's definitely a process. It's not something you can just decide to do one day and then you're just great at filtering out opinions.
Right.
So it was definitely a process, and I think it starts with your mind and just establishing a mindset that says, I am okay with opinions and criticism, but not from everyone. And really just sitting down and figuring out, okay, who in my life, really has an inside scoop on what's going on, and who is in my life that just kind of sits on the sidelines and just kind of has random opinions about what I'm doing, and just kind of.
And I feel like, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just feel like that those are the people that don't have the context that, that judge
Yeah.
off of what they only know, like what they know, but they don't know everything.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's the people who are on the sidelines, who aren't in the game with you. Like, what are their opinions based off of? Not much. And so why should that have a lot of grounding in what you're doing or the decisions you're making? There was a quote by Rachel Hollis that I love, and it just says, if you're not in the game with me, then you don't get a say. And I just like that, because it helps you to filter out those opinions. And so I really think it just starts with your mind, and just making up your mind that if someone has an opinion over me, I just need to sit with it for a second and determine really who it's coming from, how much do they know, what's the context, like, and just decide, like, am I going to let this have a weight over me, or do I need to just filter it out and keep going? So just establishing that mindset. And then, yes, my faith plays a huge role in just my identity and what I believe and how I'm able to just carry myself through life, I suppose. And just really knowing like what God says about me, what his word says about his people. And, he calls us validated, and, he approves of us already. Like, we don't have to go seeking that every day. And so just really tuning into that every single day has really, really helped me.
And then I was curious, like how the mindset thing, bringing it back to that, like, was this something you would talk about with people? Did you say it to yourself, like regularly, like self-talk? Was it something you like wrote down in a journal? Like how did, because obviously like you can't just tell yourself one day, like, don't have this thought. Like, it's a practice of getting out of that loop, I feel like.
Yes. Yeah, journaling definitely helps. I think writing things down has a lot of value. And so just writing down affirmations, a couple of mine were, um, I'm already validated, I'm already enough. Another was like opinions don't always need to be good or something like that. It was just, I don't need to have everyone's greatest opinion in order to proceed. And so affirmations, just putting positivity in every single day, just to make sure that you're priming yourself to handle when opinions do come your way. But I think for me, definitely, it was just in the moment, like practicing when people disapprove of me or when they have bad opinions or things like that. Just putting it into practice in the moment has definitely shifted the most.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel struggle with that of like, I almost sometimes feel like I need a reminder. Like when I'm in the moment, I kind of get stuck in it. And it's hard for me to tell myself when I feel a certain way, like you're having this thought because of this reason, or like you don't need to be validated by this person. Like just those simple thoughts, I kind of feel it's hard for me to catch sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I don't know. I guess one thing I try to be a little more aware of is like casting judgment myself, because, that's just, you put things out in the world and you tend to get it back in a weird way.
Yeah.
So like I even, not even saying it out loud, like I could be by myself and you see somebody on the side of the street or whatever, and we're just automatically almost past some kind of judgment, even if it's subtle and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And so just, I don't know, being just an open-minded individual in general has just helped me. You guys are gonna get me journaling. Yeah, both of you.
I started journaling too. Yeah, like the last month. I mean, I haven't been consistent every day, but like I tend to try to write in it like every other day or something.
Yeah. And even just reading a list of affirmations or just positivity each day takes like 30 seconds. And then, yeah,
your best friend.
The way to go. But just like maybe even putting it like on your dashboard in your car or on your mirror or anything, or just reading a list every single day, just to put the positivity in and just set your mindset for the day that, you can't stop what people think about you. But caring about what everyone thinks about you isn't going to change what they think about you. Like people are going to have their opinions either way. They're going to think what they think. And it's not your job to go around and fix it or to prove to people why they should view you a certain way. I think it's your job to go out and be the best version of yourself and to serve and to have servant leadership and to just be generous and kind and do your work to the best of your ability. And the people who resonate with that and like it, that's amazing. And the people who still don't like you or have things to say, which is going to happen, that's okay too. And you don't need to fix that.
Man, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I was even just talking about yesterday. Was like, I feel you can't control other people. You can only control how you act and react.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I like that.
At the end of the day, like, as much as you want to tell someone, like, I don't know, like, you can nag them all day about something, but you can't make them go do it. All you can do is like, here's how you're gonna react or act.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
It's so crazy too, because even that is so, we all like, I don't know what it is. I'd have to do some more digging, I guess, but we all kind of naturally just care about what people think or say. I don't know, like I don't know. I naturally I resonate with this so well because I also I guess I'm known as like a funny guy. Well, that's because I genuinely love making people smile and laughing.
Yeah.
And that's like, I guess that's kind of my thing. But, you said something in the book. I think I have it right here. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to make others feel bad, but it shouldn't come at the cost of your authenticity. And I really liked that because there's points where, I've made my identity so much the funny guy that it's hard for me to to be serious at points because people won't take me seriously because I'm usually the
Right.
funny guy, you know?
Yeah.
So the cost of your author, I really resonated with that when I read that little, that sentence. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I haven't heard you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely a working process. It all is.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I guess too, I have these down as well. The four fears that people pleasing develops from. Do you know them off the top of your head?
Yes, I believe I remember.
Yeah, if you just want to run through, you don't have to do all
Yeah.
four, but if you want to run through a few and kind of how you went through those.
Yeah. So what I have noticed as a people pleaser is that people pleasing is rooted in fear. And it's a fear of people being angry, like I was afraid of my teacher being mad at me. Out of fear of judgment, out of fear of confrontation, so confronting people, and then it's out of a fear of making people feel bad. And so the fear of anger really, I think, speaks for itself. You don't want people to be mad at you, and so you just live your life in accordance to that, and you just make decisions based off of, okay, what's going to get people to still like me, not be mad at me, not ruffle any feathers.
Right.
And then the fear of judgment is just, nobody likes to be judged. Nobody likes harsh criticism.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good. And so we also people please to avoid that feeling. And we won't do certain things if we think someone's going to judge us for it. And then fear of confrontation. I struggled with this a lot, just not standing up for myself and not really speaking out about what's going on or what I believe, because I just didn't want the reactions that came with that, I suppose. That may or may not have happened. I don't know, because I didn't do it. But just feeling and fearing that if I stand up for myself or if I confront this person, the reaction could be bad and I just better not. So that's where that comes from. And then the fear of making people feel bad. So this actually was a little bit of a surprise to me, but I can definitely resonate with it. Just watering yourself down because you don't want to make other people feel bad, I suppose. And I don't know. And that goes along with playing small. I think just playing small because you don't want to seem like you're arrogant or stuck up or whatever, and just not wanting to make other people feel badly about themselves, which I don't know. That's not, I mean, those are good intentions, but just wrong execution, I suppose.
Right.
So those are the four fears.
Yeah.
I like that. That's so facts. It's good intention, and that's the tricky part. Is people pleasers tend to be good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
facts.
like nobody's yeah, I think it's funny we all create the narratives. You said like I don't know because I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like maybe I could have got these reactions I made up in my head, maybe not.
100%.
I think that's just something that we all struggle with too, is just those stories. Like I'm so guilty of it. I'm so
What
guilty
if?
of it because it's so funny. I'll even say it like, because I listen to Tom every day. I listen to Tom,
Yeah.
I listen to Impact
Probably
Theory.
less.
I listen to all Jay
Yeah,
Shetty.
I was
I
about to
listen
say
to
Jay
all
Shetty.
these awesome. And so in my head, I'm like, I'm literally I was already doing this interview a month ago in my head, making the story of like, oh man, like, and that's just I don't know, like we all.
You were even like acting it out to me, like I think like a month ago.
Oh yeah,
You were
yeah,
like acting like
literally.
you were doing like Tom does these crazy like introductions of people, and you were doing that about somebody.
Yeah,
I just mimicking it, and I was just like, you were already kind of practicing,
I
like
don't know, man.
foreshadowing it.
It is crazy though that we all have those stories. We just it's almost like gunk in your head that is so.
Yeah.
I guess once you, again, like everything else, it's a process. But once you kind of acquire those skills and you have those filters that you were
Mhm.
talking about, it definitely
I think
it's
it's a practice.
it's a little easier once you just you're aware and start to practice it. you know?
Yeah, like at first it's a process of learning, and then it becomes like a practice
Yeah.
of that routine, I feel like.
Right. One thing that definitely helped me with just overthinking and
Yeah, I'd love
just
to hear this.
thinking about
I overthink all the time.
yeah, it's a
Sorry, I
struggle.
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Um, but yeah, just overthinking and also just wondering like, oh, are they thinking bad things about me? One thing that's helped me is just to stop making assumptions about what other people are thinking. Um, and just to position yourself as the kind of person who, if you have a problem with me, then you need to communicate about it because, you know, gossiping or, you know, I guess not being direct about it just is not the way to, I don't know, handle those things. And that also helps you to stop assuming what people may or may not be thinking about you based on how they're acting one day. Like, that's not your job, to try and dictate or figure out, like, oh, is this person mad at me? Do they like me? It's you're not supposed to decipher, you know, what other people are thinking. And so just trying to stop making assumptions and just positioning yourself as a person who, like, I don't know, can be approachable. So if people
Yeah,
do have problems or do have opinions or whatever, that they can approach you about it and talk to you about it. So you're not
I think
left like wondering.
and I think that comes in like the small things too. I would say maybe like, you know, making yourself, I could see where you're struggling for that word because it's not quite approachable, but um having like people know like, oh, like you got a problem with Brevin? Oh, just tell him. Like he'll have a conversation with you about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost like that. It's not approachable, but it's approachable in confrontation, if you will, or
Yes.
yeah, I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got some notes there to go back and watch and listen to.
Yeah, well, definitely. I think we might even have to do, I don't know how long this is going, but a part two maybe.
Yeah.
I'm having a
That would be awesome.
yeah,
Tom over here is loving himself.
Tom. Well, no, I don't want to. I don't want.
Oh,
What'd you say? Sorry.
um, one other thing that I feel like I just really think would help people pleasers as well, is just switching your mindset from pleasing people to serving people. So you're
Wow.
not thinking you need to do things out of pleasing or getting validation or having people like you, but instead going out and serving and using your time and your talents to just add value to people's lives. Just switch your mindset in that aspect so that, you know, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day who likes me because I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it to serve other people. So that I have found to be
That
very helpful.
that was that was the most beautiful thing.
That was a nugget.
No, literally,
For
we
sure.
got us all antsy over here. Like,
Yeah. I'm gonna scream, like,
wow.
honestly.
So
Yeah.
reframing pleasing people to serving people. Wow.
I was literally talking about that yesterday with my therapist. This is crazy how like
Personal development's all connected.
it's all connected. Yeah, it is. It is. We were talking about like instead of like resenting people and like having bad emotions and attitudes toward them, like try serving them for once and see how they react back. And I was like,
That's crazy. Yeah.
damn, like I'm gonna have to try. I'm gonna try that one and see how it works. And I mean, I'm sure no one's gonna be mad at you for asking, "How can I help?"
Yeah.
Be of service to you.
Right. I love that.
Like if someone's
Serving is always a good idea.
I'm very surprised.
I love that so much. I mean, I don't want to cut it short or anything, but I think that's a great place to
Wrap it up.
wrap it. That's so awesome. People pleasing is serving people. Has got me. Yeah, just that yeah, that reframe. That's so awesome.
So one last question for you, I guess. Where can people get your book? Where can people find you on social media, YouTube, whatever? Like, how can people get in contact with you or follow you?
I think the easiest way to get my book is on Amazon right now. It's called The Art of Rising Up. And you can get a hard copy, you can get the ebook, or you can go to theartofrisingup.com, and there's a couple different options there from places you can order it. The link on my bio, you can order it from me, and I'll sign it and everything. So a couple options.
That's
Yes.
the option. I want the signed
Personalized
option.
copy.
What's your IG handle?
It is Katy.Marr. So KATY.MARR.
Nice. And do you have like a YouTube or anything? Twitter?
Twitter, I believe it's Marr_Katy.
Gotcha.
I think you're right. I think you're right. It is Marr_Katy.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Well, she said she thinks, like she wasn't sure. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Well, awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And once I get a little deeper in the book, we definitely might have to have you on for a part 2, because that
would be awesome.
I think there was a lot of value in there. I don't know how long we're running, but I don't know. That was a lot, and I feel like we could go even more. And I saw you on your story the other day. You're already writing again, so
yes. On to the next.
You gotta stay grinding.
Yeah, of course.
That's our sign off. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well,
I mean, yeah, just to close it up for us real quick, I appreciate everyone watching. This was episode 19 of The Chop, and as always,
get Katy's book.
Get Katy's book, and as always, stay grinding.
Stay grinding.
Who are they? Who are you? What to say? What to do? Why they lie? What's the truth? Too much thinking on my mind. Random thoughts just keep running through. Ooh.